Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy, my channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do technical analysis on uranium. I do this daily update. I know a lot of people want the daily updates, so that's what we're going to do is the daily updates. Again, we got the 10-year going down. Looks like it's almost putting in like a double bottom or something. Well, hopefully it's a double bottom. We've got inflation going higher. We've got rates going lower, and we've got the dollar like basically meandering up and down. It was down recently, but it's very confusing signals, just in general. We've got uranium that's been, some are looking pretty good, some are pulling back. It's kind of all over the place, just like our signals are. So I'll look at these charts, I'll tell you what I'm seeing, and what I'm going to do is I only tell you what I see. I have to see the setup in front of me, and that's all I look at. I don't take anything else into account. I mean, I take 10-year, I take some of those other signals into account, but it's whatever's in front of us. This does not mean that it has anything to do with the actual underlying fundamental basis of the stock or the valuation of it. I think that uranium's a good bet for a long-term hold. In the short term, we're going to see gyrations. We're going to see things moving up and down. It's going to be a war field out there. So I'll give you my opinion. I'll show you what I'm seeing in the charts for the daily. But on the big picture view, I'm holding in all of these companies. And if I don't mention a company, it doesn't mean I'm not in it. I have exploration companies in terms of like gold and silver that I don't cover all the time. I'm in these things, I'm holding on, and I'm riding it. And the reason I'm riding it is because the fundamental, the underlying structural moves in the technical chart patterns, in the real estate market, in inflation, and even in all of those market condition structural underpinnings of the markets are saying that a commodity boom is coming with the technicals analysis on a big long-term perspective. That's why I'm holding through this stuff. And I know people are going to get scared out. They're going to sell. It's going to happen. But I'm riding through it. So let's jump in. Let's do some uranium. I'll show you what I'm seeing. So here's URNM. This is an ETF of the uranium mining companies. I still think this thing looks fantastic from a perspective of moving higher inside this box. This box is signaling a move higher. We've got the nice large candlestick up days here and then the small pullback. The sellers aren't there selling this off as an ETF. They're not there. The buyers are still in control. CCJ, we pulled on back. Again, I think this mimics URNM. It's a little bit different pattern here. We got kind of a nice big down day there. But I do think the buyers are still in control and we could potentially see a move upward in the short term. Next Gen Energy, it is signaling the same thing. The buyers are still in control until they're not. So, upward bias. Fission, we've got this, it kind of smushed all up in here, and usually that means you're going to break to the downside. It broke to the downside. How long is this thing going to remain down? Probably not that long. But right now, the path of least resistance is lower for Fission. Denison Mines, on the other hand, looks pretty good. Nice big up day, and then the small little pullbacks. I think we could potentially see this turn and move higher. UU, we got the nice big 2 up days, small little pullbacks. We're in this box. I still think we could potentially move higher. URG, same exact pattern, large up day and then the 2 small down days in it. It's still to the upside, in my opinion. Uranium Royalty Corp, we broke this downtrend, kind of popped off of it, and now we're throwing a little bullish and bearish engulfing, which means it could potentially pull back. Will it pull back? I don't know. This is the spot where you start getting some mixed signals, and what I do is I just hold on. I don't try trading in and out of these things at all. I want to, get the downtrend. We coming on up. I'm holding on. If we come back down here, I'm going to buy more. That's the way that I'm playing this. But it could pull back here in the short term. Fission 3.0 has been getting sold and bought and going all over the place. Lots of volatility. We do have this support line right below it. So it's holding. At the moment, it's holding. Pure Point was also getting thrown around all around today. We have this little uptrend. It did break the uptrend. We could be moving sideways for a little bit. Again, some of these are kind of hard to read, which they're mainly going sideways to begin with. So I still think more sideways movement and maybe a little bit longer consolidation period is needed. Sky Harbor is kind of in this pennant formation, and keep in mind here though, when you enter this from the top side down, this is usually a continuation pattern that could continue lower. So we're getting mixed signals here on some of these companies. An ascending wedge typically resolves itself to the downside. So be careful in standard uranium. Am I going to do anything with it? No, I'm just going to hold on. That's what I'm doing. Base load, lower. So we got a downtrend. We're going sideways, and now I'm looking for an uptrend move very soon. Doesn't look too bad down here. I'm kind of brave. I kind of buy in stuff when it's low, but again, I would watch for a break to the downside, and if we break, I'd say this 60-cent area, we're probably moving on up at a good clip after that. So 60 cents to the upside, and watch out for a break below 45 cents. Deep yellow is moving sideways. Not too much to really talk about here. Looks like it's just grinding sideways. Same thing with Bannerman. The grind is on sideways. This is, we're going to be like grinding all year almost, it seems like. Global Atomic is also grinding sideways. We're trying to move. It's got a fight between the buyers and the sellers over here. Man, that's a tough one to read there. Goviax, we could head a little bit lower, even though this is a kind of a down day. We could pop high. I mean, this candlestick is signaling that the momentum ended to the upside. This pattern is signaling a momentum is downward. Which way is it actually going to go? Good question. I don't know on the short term here. We've got resistance above this line, so we're going to go into resistance going up. Downward, our support is kind of around 16 cents. So I think we might see 16 cents. Laramide had a nice little head fake here. We broke to the upside, and then we pulled right back into the pattern. So we're back into the pattern for Laramide. Encore Energy, it looks like we're kind of coming up. Nice little bearish engulfing. We could head lower here for a little bit. And again, I think this is of a bigger pattern of a consolidation sideways move. Centrus Energy Corporation, we are grinding sideways still. I thought we could move upward here, but the sellers came in and sold this thing off, and we're still grinding sideways. Boss Energy, again, you might as well get the grind on sideways because everything else is grinding sideways. Looks like more sideways action. Peninsula Energy, joining the mix with the sideways grind. UEX, could this be a shoulder, head, shoulder developing? Maybe. Maybe we do break down and come back down here. Now, I own UEX. I'm not doing anything with it. If we were to head down here, I would be a buyer. I'm accumulating uranium shares. Blue Sky Uranium, looks like we've got this pattern. It's coming up to the side here. Usually what happens is you're hugging the upper side, you break to the upside. So we'll see what happens at 45, 46 cents if this line's going to hold a support. Forces Metals, we are moving on sideways. We got to break through this dollar area to the upside if we want to move higher. Otherwise, more grind to the sideways. So overall, URNM doesn't look too bad to move on up. It still looks like the buyers are in control. Overall, a lot of these companies grinding on sideways. Grinding sideways, a couple of them look like they might want to break to the downside. We've got a mixed bag here. The explorers in Canada looks like they want to pull back. The African companies, they're grinding sideways. And then some of the bigger ones, they look like the buyers are in control and they want to move up, like a Next Gen Energy, Camco, DNN. Those look like they want to move higher. Which way is this going to go? Good question. I do think we want to go higher. And we're getting mixed signals across the entire board of my other indicators, like the 10-year. 10 years going down, dollars going down, and then we've got inflation going up. We've got home prices going up. I haven't seen these signals be mixed like this ever. Usually you see inflation go up and then interest rates follow. What's happening is inflation's going up and interest rates are going down. If people are buying in bonds and yields are going down, it means they're afraid of something. What are they afraid of? I don't know. I'm trying to look for it, but I can't find it. Home prices are going up. So the signals here are mixed, and I'm getting mixed signals even within the sector. This is a very difficult time to read this stuff, and what I'm doing is nothing. I'm going to let this stuff ride. I'm in it. I'm going for it. The valuations are screaming buys. If you look at the big long-term perspective on commodities, they're screaming buys. They're coming down, the momentum's shifting, and we're going to try to come back up. The signals of the overall market, the 10-year, the dollar, inflation, they're not matching. They're not match. They don't even match each other. Usually you have inflation go up, interest rates go up with it. Is something out there that's lurking that people don't believe the inflation? I think the inflation's worse than what it is. So it's very difficult for me to read some of this stuff. I'm kind of dumbfounded at these signals all being mixed and breaking apart. So we'll see what happens. We'll continue to monitor this stuff. If it's me, I'm kind of not really doing anything. What I'm really looking for is I'm looking for a couple uranium companies to maybe cost average in when this starts turning around and looking a little bit better. Some look okay. I'm just waiting and seeing what's going on. I feel like everything's confused right now, and that's why you're seeing a lot of movement sideways. I'm seeing some of the diversified mining companies wanting to break to the upside of their patterns. And I'm seeing some commodities look good, and I'm seeing others kind of look like they're pulling back, like oil. I'm seeing this kind of just move sideways and have a split sector. So we're seeing things kind of move in random ways, so to speak, with no correlation. It's kind of weird. Anyway, if you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Love to hear your guys' opinion. And thanks for listening. This is Finding Value.